A life unto himself. Story of a strange educator. A whole story. A life story. There was this boy and he lived with himself. Himself, completely himself. Only he did not know that he was living with himself all the time. He was so innocent. He obviously believed all and he was very friendly. So people were with him as he disarmed everybody with that being with himself innocence. He was utterly honest. He did not even know what is the meaning of dishonesty or lying. He was honest as he was with himself always. He sometimes bunked school, but it could not be classified as naughty. He simply followed his heart, and his heart did not like school so much. Not always. He was poor in studies too. He could grasp anything in a second, but he did not know he was intelligent and quick. He didn't need it then. He would joke and be carefree all the time, laughing as joy filled his heart all the time because he did not know that there was something called unhappiness. His mom and dad were perfect for him. His dad had no time for him because he was a very busy man, very successful man. And his mom was like all good mom. She fed him and left him on his own. He had all kinds of friends, on all levels of society. He even had so-called cheap friends. He did not know that when they used swear words or talked about those dirty things, it was bad. He simply joined and he did not know anything about it. As he reached teenage, he realized that he was having curious and strange and deep feelings for every girl. He loved each and every girl. He could see them. He could see because his innocent eyes did not see just the beauty of the body, but the soul, and the body came alive in his eyes. And he found each to be so specially cute, so good looking, so wondrous. He could not handle the hunger he felt for each girl. It was odd, but he let it flow and he ogled like mad. Sometimes in cheap ways, when pencils would fall and he could look below skirts, and he was struck by womanly beauty. And the skin, the sheer girlishness, drove him to extreme desire. But since he was always with himself, he was not overpowered. He simply enjoyed the sights of girls. He reached the higher +2, and here he was shocked. As he was demanded to study, he studied, and his quickness made him remember everything. From an average student, he suddenly maxed his subjects. But he was profoundly innocent. He did not know that just because he had topped the class, he could show off. He knew that he did not know anything inside. It was too simple to get marks, and he got it, and he went to the top college for his engineering. When he reached that stage, trouble began and ended. Both in a strange way. Trouble began because it was demanded that he study, and he had zero interest in it in any deep way. It was good too, as he was now himself out of the nest. He felt at times that soaring feeling of freedom, but did not notice that he was feeling it. He was feeling such joy of being free and an adult. And then he read his first serious book. A deep book, a non-fiction book by Bertrand Russell, and it changed his brain. He did not know that he was changed, that he had become deeply literate, and he read on and on. He suddenly was driven by hunger to know everything. He did not know that the highest human aspiration, seeking, was working in him. But he started slowly realizing this, as now it was impossible not to know. He knew that he didn't know. Now his quest, his blind desire was to reach that something, that final truth. He was driven by that. And finally, just passing out of college, inevitably, at the age of 24, he realized the full truth of the world, in essence. And then when he did, unlike others, maybe it was an utter shock. To see the world so stupid, so insanely low level, so trivial, and the problems so needless, he could not fathom it. For a while he went into a really mentally ill state, but with a great feeling of the high. He knew it was all over. He had found life, and at one split second he realized his soul, and what utter stupid life he had led till then, that blind life which he had led and others still led for ages. He realized what he should have realized at 10 years. His extreme innocence had prevented that. Then on, he lived like a full adult, and how full of passion, the feeling of high. He met obviously people like him. He met his sweetheart, a quiet girl, deep, strangely, who shared his beauty, his innocence, and his hard nutness. He discovered the ecstasy of working as a counselor, a writer, educator, but all this not as a career, and least of all, not at all as for money or fame or position. He developed a natural, terrible contempt for people, and contradictorily, he was selfless and free with people, making all happy to be and confess to him. He liked the confessions actually, as they were moments of reality, of people. People were real when they spoke their things deepest in their hearts. He became a miracle worker, working to change lives, and he went deep into subjects, mastered the basic core subjects with ease, and saw clearly that it was the lack of a wholesome education that had been the problem from the beginning of man's journey. He realized deeply that people were like that because they had not been told simply the whole truth. He remained utterly innocent, but now he was ruthless and he was conscious, he was aware of life and the world. He discovered his small soulmates in real life, on social media, in books, online and offline, and in history. He lived a long, healthy, and incredibly private journey, a saga that transformed lives and impacted the world. He wrote on every single thing he knew of with passion and feeling and great thought and simplicity and clarity and empathy and understanding. And one day he passed away. He was missed. He was missed, but not in that usual serious way. He was missed as if some light had come into the world, light-hearted. And it reflected his celebratory lifestyle. Almost like a feather he had, in a wink he had gone. Just like a bird, just like any animal. He was just life, that's all. It was a strange story of a man who lived with only joy ever.